Hey guys, so seeing how I have a free night, and I'm trying to make time go by faster, um, and it's been a while since I posted a video, I've decided that I'm going to do two in 2 days. Um, so what I'm going to do today is a sort of like a Mythbusters style kind of video. So yeah, this is like Mythbusters for trans men. I posted on a group that I'm with quite a while ago about any myths that or any misconceptions that people tend to think about trans people, well, trans men, um, and I thought it'd be good to bust as many of these as possible. It's been a while since I've read through them, so I'm not 100% sure if I know all of them, but if there's any that I don't know, please feel free to comment and tell me. Um, so yeah, so here are some of the things that a lot of trans people hear, including myself. T injections work faster / better than gels. Right. So for that one, I have never been on gels, but I just went straight onto injections. I didn't like the idea of gels because of how long you need to sit and not have contact with anything, and I'm very busy and it's not very often that I have more than an hour before I'm away doing something else. So that's why I went straight onto injections. But that's not true. T injections don't work faster or better than gels. They both work equally as well, and it depends on the person. So yeah, like I've seen people who've been on gels who that's just worked amazing for them. The voices dropped very quickly. The facial hair came in, body hairs came in, body masses, fat distribution, body shape has changed, stuff like that, really quick. And I've also seen the same for people on injections. So it's like literally the only difference is it's a different way of getting your tea. So yeah, next one. If your dad's bald, you'll be bald, or if he has facial hair, you'll have none. Right, that's not true. It all depends on genetics throughout your whole family. So your dad might be bald, but your granddad might not be, or your mum's side of the family might have baldness, but your dad's side don't. It literally depends. You can never really know. Like all my family, we all have a hair. My brother has all his hair. He's not going bald or anything, but my hairline is receding. So like it just depends. Stuff like this can skip a generation. Once again, speaking with my brother, he can grow a decent beard and facial hair, whereas I've got chin hair, a moustache, and a little bit of hair here, and a slight line of sideburn. So it's completely different for everyone, and it's not just based on what your parents have. It's based on whole family trees and stuff like that. There's no way of really telling. Like I've said, there's no way of really telling what's going to happen when you go on tea. But no, so if anyone out there who's going on tea is worried that because the dad side of the family is bald that they'll go bald, don't be worried. It's a 50-50 scenario. It'll either happen or it won't. So next, phalloplasty results have no sensation and you can't orgasm, or they don't look like a penis, or can't be used for sex. Right, that was a lot in one go. Phalloplasties do have sensation. Once again, it all depends on the person, the healing process. A lot of the stuff is dependent on the person and if it's a surgery-wise healing process and if it's anything to do with hormones like family history and stuff like that. But with phalloplasty, the only phalloplasty that has a limited sensation, as far as I'm aware, is where you get from your pubic. Because apparently, when I was speaking to Dr. Christopher and we were going through the different options, whether to get it from my arm, my thigh, or my pubic area, He was telling me that with pubic phalloplasty, so pretend this is, in fact, you know what, I'll use my packet. Right, so we got the phallus here, right, so basically you have feeling all around the base, but you don't get feeling at the top, apparently. I don't know if that's true for everyone, but Dr. Christopher said that it is more or less, there's not much feeling at the tip of the penis for phalloplasty. And from speaking to people who has had the same surgery that I'm having, there's one person who's got complete sensation all the way through. There's another person who's got half sensation. I think the other guy, he's just went on to his stage 2 only a few weeks ago, so he's still a bit sensitive down there, so you can't really tell what the sensation's like properly. But yeah, like I said, it's completely different. It's the same as when you go for chest surgery. There is a chance that you might not have feeling in your nipples. Like, for example, for me, I had feeling in my right side straight away. My right side was extra sensitive. My left side was completely nothing there. Now, my right side isn't really that sensitive, it's just normal, and my left side now has feeling in it as well. So it depends on how everything heals up, how the nerves are connected, if they connect, if they reject, stuff like that. So yeah, what else did it say? Yes, you can orgasm, because the part that I hate using the word, so I'm not going to use it. The part that that causes an orgasm for trans men pre-surgery, when they do, for mine, it's when they go into stage 2. I'm not sure about the forearm or the pubic phalloplasty, but in stage 2 they do a thing where they bury that into the penis, for then it's at the base, which means when, I can't believe I'm doing this motion, but basically when this is happening, it's pushing it on the base and moving it up and down, which then creates the friction enough to have an orgasm. What else was it? Yes, it does look like a penis. In stage 1, it doesn't really. Well, it does, but not to a full extent. When you go into stage 2, once again using my packer. So when sorry, it's a bit dusty. I got new black underwear, and the black underwear is now stuck to it, so I need to give it a clean. So yeah, it's not dirty. It's just covered in black fibres. But yeah, so basically when you get the surgery, they don't have this bit that makes the head in stage 1. They do that in stage 2, where they make an incision, a very small and thin incision around, and they take that bit of skin away, and then I can't remember whether they just let that heal the way it is or whether they sew it on, so basically it just looks like a circumcised penis. So yeah, and yes, it can be used for sex. That's why in the later stages, normally the last stage, you get a pump fitted in, which one of your testicles becomes a pump. You pump up this, it pushes air up to a bulb that's attached to your pubic bone, depending on which pump you're getting. For the pump that I'm getting, this is what's going to happen, to a bulb that's attached to your pubic bone that has fluid in it. The fluid then goes through 2 tubes that are inside the penis, and it makes it erect. So yes, it can be used for sex. That's why a lot of trans men do get phalloplasty for penetrative sex. Next, I can't really say this one, but I'm gonna give it a try. It's the other form of a lower surgery for trans men. Metoidioplasty. I don't know if that's right. Please do not check me on that. It's probably not. Results: can't be used for sex or stand to pee. That's not true, because once again, when speaking to Dr. Christopher, when you do get that type of surgery, they do lengthen your urethra as well, so then it is possible to stand to pee. It's just like having a smaller penis, so the penis ends up being roughly about that size, if I remember right. So it's roughly about that. So yeah, you can use stand to pee. You can use it to with sex to an extent. You can use it for penetrative sex to an extent, just not as much as the phalloplasty, because the phalloplasty is the average size male penis, whereas the metoidioplasty, I'm just going to say it in different ways and hope one of them's right, is smaller. But yes, it can still be used for sex, and it can be used stand to pee. Next, this one says, not really a myth, but there's always the question of will I grow on tea? This literally depends on age. We don't stop growing till, well, technically we don't stop growing till we're 25, right? But we all experience that growth sort of stuff, growing pains and stuff like that, during puberty. And I know when you go into tea, it's like going through puberty again. But once your bones are fused to the extent that it's going to grow, then there's no way that you're going to grow anymore. Like, I think I've managed to grow half an inch. So I was, no, about 3/4 of an inch, because I was 5'2", I'm now 5'2 3/4. So yeah, that's the amount that I grew, because I started tea when I was 18. And it my first puberty took a while to kick in, so I was still kind of going through that puberty stage when I started tea as well. But it does really depend. It depends whether your bones are fused, and it also depends on your age and also genetics. Next one, voice drops happen immediately. No. You will not get your tea injection or your tea gel, or for some people tea tablets or patches, and the next day all of a sudden have a really deep voice. It's literally different for everyone, and you'll find that with a lot of trans men, we all tend to excel at something quicker than others. For example, mine was, I stopped my menstrual cycle, I hate that word, stopped the day that I went on tea. I never had one after my first day on tea, all the way through for these past 4 years. And my voice did drop quickly. My voice took about a month to start properly dropping. I did experience in the first week or so a scratchy, itchy throat, but that could be a placebo effect, I'm not really sure. But yeah, your voice does not drop immediately. It's different for everyone. I know someone whose voice didn't drop for a year. Like, it depends on your body and genetics. With testosterone, that is what it is. Your body and genetics, that's what makes the results. Next one, you can't get pregnant on tea and you don't need to use a contraceptive. Right, that is 100% not true. You can get pregnant on testosterone. It's extremely unlikely, but it is possible. You can get pregnant on testosterone. It doesn't just make everything null and void down there. It is possible, and contraceptive should be used if you are a gay trans man or a bisexual trans man. Should be used anyway, not only to stop pregnancies but also stop stuff like STDs or STIs, as are more commonly known now, because it's important for your sexual health. And plus, being a trans man, if you have any sort of lower gender dysphoria and you get an STI, you will have to go to a clinic and you will have to get examined, which obviously isn't fun if you've got really bad or mild or just any form of dysphoria towards your lower half of your body. So please, guys, if you are going to have sex with a man and or with a woman, use contraception anyway. But yeah, next, you can't get a GRC. A GRC is a gender recognition certificate, or change your gender on any documentations pre-tea or pre-surgery. Right, so I'll explain for people who don't know what a gender recognition certificate is. A gender recognition certificate is basically a certificate to say that you have transitioned from female to male, and you will now be known as a male, and you can change your birth certificate and stuff like that. You can get a GRC without being on hormones, and you can change the gender on any documentation before going on testosterone and before surgeries. A lot of people either physically can't have testosterone or surgeries or don't want to. Like I've said in one of my previous videos, your transition is yours. You stop when you want to stop. So, but yes, you can. All you need to do is prove that this is how you're going to live your life, this is what you want, and stuff like that. You get documentations from your doctors, your GPs, your gender identity clinic doctors, stuff like that, and you will be able to get your GRC. I, for one, have managed to change my passport and change everything apart from my birth certificate because that costs money and I don't have that dollar right now. And plus I wanted to have my lower surgery before I got my GRC just to make things a little bit easier. But I've managed to change my my gender and stuff like that. Like, I always, because I've got a very young face, I always keep my passport in my jacket pocket or in my bag or something like that. So I'll show you now just as proof. So this is my passport, and if you see right there, little M, male. And that got changed when I was, I think I was about 5 or 6 months on T, maybe close to a year. Yeah, it would have been close to a year because I changed it. I changed my passport for that I could go out to freshers and not have any questions when I started uni. Because at the beginning of uni I did start off as stealth, but then I did a documentary for Channel 4, so there was no point in living as stealth because everyone would know from watching TV. But yeah, it is possible to get your GRC, it is possible to change documents. A lot of places, stuff like your doctors and that, you can phone them up and say to them, I have been referred, I now want to be known as male, and you can get your name changed. I had my name changed at the doctor's before I got my my depot. The only thing that you won't be able to change is your name and your Mr. or Mrs. Until you get a depot, but you don't need a GRC for that. Next, I heard this one when I started just before I started T. T makes you gay. Well, I'm not gay, so no. T does not make you gay. That's not how it works. If you're gay, you're gay, you're born that way. It's the same way as if you're trans, you're born that way, you can't do anything about it, it's who you are. Some people, some theories that I've heard about this, because some trans people have been straight, and then they've went on testosterone and then started identifying as gay. One of the theories that I heard was basically once you're on T, you obviously start seeing yourself the way you want to see yourself and stuff like that, which makes your confidence grow, which then gives you more confidence to explore stuff like your sexuality, and you find stuff that you might not know that you liked before going on T and stuff like that, because you never had the confidence to go for something like that. Plus, a lot of trans men who I know. 2 seconds, I'm just going to get some e-cig fluid. A lot of trans men who I know who were interested in males before going on T didn't want to admit it because they were scared that in the relationship with a man that only straight men would be interested in them, and also they didn't want to be treated in a female way by the partner, because they didn't have that confidence and thought that was going to be the case. Obviously that's not for everyone, but yeah. Next, sorry, I'm having trouble reading because I don't have my glasses. Yes, gender, one of the myths is gender is what's in your pants. That's not true. Your sex is what's in your pants. Gender is how you feel on the inside and how you want to be known and stuff like that. Like, for a lot of people, cisgender people, their gender identity matches with their sex. For trans people, their gender identity does not match with their sex. So gender is up here and sex is there. They are completely different. So yeah, that's all I can really say about that. I could probably rant about it for days, but I'm not going to. Tea makes you into a horrible and aggressive person. Right, that's not true. Basically, like I've said, when you go on tea, it's like going through male puberty. When boys go through puberty, they do have the tempers and stuff like that, but it's easy to control. Like, I do admit, when I get to the end of my tea shot, I get a bit grumpy, but I don't full on lose my temper. I'm not a horrible person, and I'm certainly not aggressive. It takes an awful lot for me to get aggressive, to be honest, and I've been like that for years now. So no, tea does not make you aggressive. It can give you mood swings, but it doesn't make you into an aggressive or horrible person. And yeah, that is all the myths that I got from the people that I spoke to. If you have any more myths, please feel free to comment down below and let me know them. And then once I get like a decent amount going, I'll make a part 2 to this video. But yeah, thanks for watching everyone, and I will update you probably tomorrow, because tomorrow I am packing my bag for surgery. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I will see you all later. Bye.